The responsibility for these areas has to be using certain policy tools. And there are a number of policy tools that I recommend being implemented which presently are not being used. Australia, and that includes South Australia, have a tradition of using what is known as supply-side policy tools. In other words, you encourage activities, you give R&D tax credits, you need grants, you do all those kind of things. Whereas in my world, you need to balance that with also demand-side tool which drives outcomes. And that includes things like smart procurement. It includes things like innovation driving regulations. There are certain industries which will not innovate unless you put in regulations. Classic example would be building and construction industry. And then you have cluster policies, in other words, ensuring a synergistic relationship between firms that are co-located and build on common knowledge base. And that means you can get faster growth in that way, and we have a lot of experience in that scenario. And then finally, the government needs to act as an honest and trustworthy provider of information to firms on which that firm can make decision. It's not for the government to tell the firm what decision to make, but to enable the firm to make decisions on better information. These are classical things like roadmaps, capability deployment maps. You can say to a firm, here are all the areas where your capability could be used. We don't care where you go, but this gives you a basis for decisions. So those are the issues around the policy tools that are linked to the policy directions that I have been talking about.